This is Alex. Today I'm going to be talking about a dating issue. To be more specific, I'm going to try to address the question that a lot of non-Asian women who are interested in Asian men have posted on the web, which is basically when they see a really cute Asian guy in the street, bars, coffee shops, or wherever, how come the Asian guy never seems to approach them and start a conversation or show any kind of interest? And for those ladies who are not too familiar with the Asian culture or Asian men, might think that the Asian guys are too shy and that might be the reason. But it's a lot more complicated than that. So as an Asian American, I'm going to try my best to address this question, and it's going to be quite extensive because everybody's different. So I'm going to try to divide this issue into 3 different parts. And part 1, I'm going to try to devote exclusively for those Asian guys who are kind of fobby. When I say fobby, I mean fresh off the boat, and these are the Asian guys who have been in the United States for only a couple months to a couple years. And part 2 is going to be about Asian Americans who were born here and raised here. And part 3 is going to be about me. Just to give a broader perspective, I thought it would be a good idea to just share my thoughts and my opinions. Because as I said earlier, everybody's different, and adding my perspective, I think the viewers might have a better understanding. So going into part 1, it's extremely difficult for the fobby Asian guys to approach some random girl in the United States in the streets because, for the obvious reason, the language barrier. He might not be too comfortable or confident with his English skill to start a conversation with anybody. That's kind of obvious. Another reason is cultural difference. As you know, I'm a Korean American, so I'm gonna use Korea as an example. And Korea, Japan, China, Vietnam, or wherever in the Asia, we all have different cultures. So it's slightly different, but I'm sure just hearing from Korean perspectives, you'll get what I'm trying to get at. So in Korea, the Korean guys, they don't usually start dating until they go to college. When they go to middle school or high school, the boys and girls, they are segregated. Usually they have different schools specifically for girls and guys. But more and more these days, schools are becoming more co-ed. But even if they're co-ed, they don't attend the class together. So basically, in one classroom setting, there will be a whole bunch of guys only. And the classroom, in another classroom, there will be only girls. So although it's co-ed, it's not really co-ed because you don't take classes together. So that continues until they graduate high school in Korea. So basically, when they start dating, it'll be when they actually get into college. And even if they get into college, the dating scene in Korea is very different from United States. Guys, they could, but they don't usually approach some girl that they don't know, they don't really know, and try to pick, start something in Korea. It just doesn't work like that. So basically, the Korean guys and Korean girls, they start dating by taking some classes together, and they get to know each other, and things become just natural. And another way is like the student clubs. When they join student clubs, they interact within the clubs and they get to know each other, and that's how the relationship starts. And another interesting thing in Korea is that in colleges, group of girls and group of guys, they it's usually hosted by somebody, but the group of guys and group of girls, they haven't initially met. They meet at certain place, like some cafe or whatever, and they play this. You call that a meeting in Korea, but basically they meet at a cafe or whatever, and they kind of pick the partner they wanna kind of date. It's like a dating game kind of, and that's how things start. And because those meetings are pre-arranged, just the Korean guys, they usually just have to show up. It's pre-arranged by some guy. It could be within that group. Some guy. He might have set the whole entire thing up. But anyways, so that's very different. And even the Korean clubs is totally different in the United States. Because, well, in Korea you call that a booking. So when you go to Korean nightclubs, there are tables and chairs. So you pay your entrance fee and you get a table, basically. You don't just stand around like in the United States, and there's only bars. Bar area, and then the dance floor. It's not like that. You actually get a table. Usually the Korean guys, group of guys, they'll go to nightclubs and they get a table, and then the waiter at the club, he would start, bringing some girls to your table for you. So usually group of Korean guys and group of Korean girls, they go to a Korean club separately, and they all sit at their own table, but the waiter usually grabs some girl from the table and brings the girl to the guy's table, and then and then you start conversing with each other, and that's how the Korean nightclub works. So it's also very different. So as you can imagine, the Korean guys, they usually don't have to approach the girl and start a conversation. It just doesn't work like that. And as they get older, they tend to get better. Sometimes eventually they will break out of their shell. But if you look at the statistics of people who get married or how they start dating in Korea, it's usually all pre-arranged and by somebody. It's very rare for some Korean guy to pick up some girl in the street randomly and start dating. I'm not saying it's impossible or it doesn't happen, but it does happen. But it's not as common as when somebody else sets up a date for you. So that's the culture. So when some Korean guy who's used to that culture comes to the United States, as you can probably imagine, that's going to be very difficult for him. So that's a little cultural difference, and and it takes time for him to get adjusted in the U.S. culture. So that might be the reason why that some FOB Korean guy in the United States, even though he's really good looking or whatever, he might not, come up to some girl in the street randomly. I mean, even if the girl was Korean guys, they don't usually just randomly go up and and start a conversation. I mean, so I hope that helps. And this was exclusively for those FOBI Asian guys, Korean guys to be exact. And for the part 2, I'm going to be talking about the Asian Americans, and they have a totally different reason why they may not approach some non-Asian woman randomly in the street. So just look out for that. I hope I hope things are clear, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment box. Thanks for watching. See you, everybody.